Hello, friends. This is a very important assignment because this skill of decoding media bias is something that is very important just for understanding reality and also for being a good citizen and a good neighbor. So I want you all to be able to do this. And when you're not sure about something, then luckily there's sources we can use to find out, and it can help us decode the media bias. So first, that word decoding. It's like there is a code in the stuff that comes to us, the information that comes to us, and we have to break that code. We have to decode it. And that means we're going to understand it and try to see past the bias to get to reality. Media can be just about any form. It could be like a regular news source, or it might be something that pops up on your social media site that's information that seems like a news source. And it could be video or radio or print, any of that. Bias is our way of seeing the world, and it's a skewed perspective. It's a little off of reality. We never see reality in its full glory, right? We're limited individuals, and we always have bias. We always do, even if we grow past it. Now, the goal is to grow past and our bias and become as little biased as possible. At least that's my goal. But we just can never really get rid of all of our bias. It's important, though, we make sure that our bias, our skewed perspective and understanding the world doesn't affect how we treat people. And we really hope that bias doesn't move into the category of prejudice or discrimination, where we actually hurt people. So we got to be careful about that. But decoding media bias is looking at the bias of the information that's coming to us. So we're going to look at 3 websites, news websites: the New York Times, Fox News, and PBS News. And you're going to start with their home pages, and you're going to look at what headlines are there. Feel free to click on a couple articles if you want to read a little bit, but you're going to write the headlines here. And then you're going to go to the politics section of each of the news sources, and you're going to write those headlines here. And again, you can check out the articles a little bit if you have time. Really pay attention, because you're going to reflect. What did you notice? Were there any differences in which stories or which type of stories were reported? Were there differences in how the news sources maybe talked about a politician? Did some look at them negatively and some positively? Really look at that and try to reflect, what does that mean? Then you're going to evaluate. So evaluate is actually seeing what that bias is. This graph helps you kind of understand where a news source might be. So this side of the graph would be what we call left or liberal or Democrat. It could be all the way to the extreme side of that. This is more moderate. And then all the way on this side would be what we call right-wing, conservative, Republican. So what we hope for in news sources is that they live more here in the center. It's really hard to be completely unbiased. So your left center or right center or least bias is where we're hoping for a news source. And then as far as factual reporting, making sure that they're only saying facts, not just guesses. We want high or very high. If it's mixed or mostly factual, then you got to be extra careful when you're reading information or looking at information from these sites. So what you're going to do for each of the 3 websites is you're going to make a prediction based off the headlines or any of your background knowledge about what you think the bias is. So choose from all those options that we had up here. Is it going to be left biased or not? Is it going to be center? Or is it going to be right biased? You decide what you think it's going to be, and then give me a reason why. Then you're going to actually look it up. Also, do the quality prediction before you look it up too, because it comes to you, the information comes at the same time. So quality prediction, do you think it's a very high quality news source, factual? Is it going to be mostly factual, mixed, low? All that. So you're going to choose one of those. Predict before you look it up. The place you're going to look it up is this website right here. So click on that website. It takes you to this. Sorry about the advertisements. You can try to ignore those. And the way you're going to find the information about your news source is you're going to search for it here. I'm going to look up a different news source because I don't want to give you the answers. So MSNBC, and then you click enter. You'll probably have to type in. So you'll do Fox News and New York Times and PBS. And then when you click enter, it takes a little second to load, so give it a second. It'll probably take you to a few different ones, and you make sure you find the one that you're wanting. So like this one is the one I want, MSNBC. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to take me to the information about its bias and its factual reporting. So this one has this graph right here. So MSNBC is left bias, pretty like almost to the extreme. I want media sources that are in the center. And then it's mixed factual reporting.